you okay?
I'm all right. Where's the skeleton, mate?
I'm in the office today.
Oh.
This is my padded cell.
You look like you're in the Big Brother house.
Well, one day I might make some money there. Nice to see you. You okay?
All good, thanks, mate. All good.
Good. Let's start with the obvious. Gareth Bale back. But how confident are you that he will be able to play it? And what is his situation fitness-wise, Rob?
Yeah, he's in a good place. He's exactly where we and the medical team thought he should be and could be. So I spoke with him personally last week, and yeah, he's raring to go. He's absolutely doing everything possible to get himself 100% fit. He's back on the grass. He's not in full-time training yet, but we've got another week yet, and he's, like I said, he's where we want him to be, and that's great news.
Do you expect him to play a game for Real Madrid before he joins up with the squad?
Not sure that's going to be doable, if I'm completely honest with you, to go from where he's at right now to unless he's involved next weekend then in the squad. But do I see it? No, probably not. Will that have an impact on my team selection for Belarus at home? Probably not, Rob, if I'm being completely honest with you. You know, he's a fit lad. He don't have to look after himself really, really well. I know you can do all the training in the world. It's not the same as playing games, but when you've got somebody like Gareth Bale coming back into the squad, then he will absolutely be considered for starting games.
For both of those games, for Belarus?
The most important one for us right now is the Saturday one. You know, we want a positive camp, but we've got complete focus on Belarus on Saturday night. I want the stadium rocking, you know, and I want to get the full stadium and get a positive start to the week's camp.
And Real Madrid, would they be okay with that, do you think?
Well, if he declares himself fit, then I can't see why they wouldn't. You know, I think he's got a good relationship now with the manager and the medical team there, and so have we. So I think there'll be conversations to be had, and it's about trust in each other, and they can absolutely trust in our medical team. And if we have to adhere to a plan that they would rather put in place, then we're absolutely prepared to do it, because we want Gareth Bale part of the squad.
Aaron Ramsey has missed the weekend with muscle fatigue, the familiar thing with him. What is the score as far as he's concerned?
Yeah, it was exactly that, Rob. You're spot on. He's learning as he's getting into his 30s to manage your body. You know, you can't do what you could in your early 20s and mid 20s even. So he's identified that there was quite a bit of muscle fatigue, and he took himself out of it, which is sensible. You know, Aaron maybe 5 years ago would have pushed himself and broke down. So he's learning to manage his body, and I'm pleased to hear that. He done it last camp and made sure that he was on camp for us, and I don't see any change in that mentality of his now for this camp.
Yeah, and crucially, he played both games last camp, so that's something you'd be confident in him doing again.
Yeah, not just played both games. I thought he was magnificent against the Czech Republic. He covered the most distance. He probably done 12k in that one game. At half time in the second game, we had a conversation, but there was no way he wanted to come off. He was going until he got to about 70 minutes, and then he realised, yeah, you know, if I push myself any further, I could break down. But he put a magnificent shift in. Like I said, if we can get the same out of him again, then that's great.
He's not here, but all thoughts as well will be with David Brooks, Rob. It's the first time you've had a chance to talk to us about it. First of all, have you got any update on how the treatment is going?
No, the medical team will be in touch with him, Rob. I've not spoke to him personally. I spoke to him initially through the week that we were testing him and helping him through that difficult couple of days that he had. He knows we're fully supportive of him and all the squad and the staff and everybody associated with the Football Association of Wales. We're fully behind him, and I've spoke to Sean about him this morning. He's in contact with him. So yeah, I couldn't tell you where he's at regarding his treatment at this moment in time. I think that's something that he'd like to keep to himself and just focus on himself. But he knows that we're here for him, absolutely.
And you've talked before about the medical team you have, but it does seem that the doctors involved with the FAW were absolutely pivotal in identifying there was a big problem beyond just, you know, fatigue or an injury or whatever.
I think when you've worked with a player for as long as the doc has, and Sean and myself, and you know when they walk into camp, you can see slight differences, and he just didn't look right in training. He wasn't himself. and I can't speak highly enough of the medical team. I have done in the past, and even more so now, because without that they wouldn't have identified it as quick as they did. So full credit's got to go to the doc and to Sean and the support they give Brooksy straight after it. You know, it was a difficult thing to hear, and we'll continue to support him through it. But that support he had that week, and the work that they'd done was unbelievable.
And you've got no doubts he'll get through this with the support of everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. He's a strong lad. He doesn't look it. He's a slight player, but he's a strong lad. And like I said, with everybody supporting him behind him, he'll get through it.
Last couple from me, Rob. Kiefer Moore absent for Belarus. What would be his role now in this camp, and how difficult is it without him? Because again, he's been a focal point for your attack, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. But we've done it in the past, Rob. I think you know, he's a big loss. Of course he is. He's one of the top scorers for us. He's one of four that we rely on to get the goals. And when he's not in the team, he is a big miss. But I keep saying we can't grumble about it. It is what it is. He's, as you've seen, he's in the squad. He'll be ready for the second game, and we have to adapt and play like we have done in the past. Before Kiefer come into the team, you know, we played a different way then, and we'll have to adapt and make sure that we get the positive result that we want.
And last one from me. Just how big are these two games, and what do you need? What do you feel you'll need points reward to get that second place?
Well, to not have to worry about anybody else's results, to take matters into our own hands, you're looking at 4 points. So we want to start off with a win on Saturday, and then, you know, we'll take that momentum then into the Belgium game and see what happens in that. Our record's great against Belgium over the last couple of years, and albeit, you know, in March I think it was when we played them, we went 1-0 up with arguably one of the best goals we've scored. And when you look back at the goals we conceded, we can probably do a little bit better on each of them. So it's all there for the taking. We've given ourselves a great opportunity to finish second in this group. And like I said, we want to finish the job off in style now. And it'd be nice if we get the place rocking on the Saturday and help us achieve that first win.
All the best, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. Cheers.
Yeah, Rob. Geraint Hughes.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Geraint.
How are you doing? You well?
Yes, I'm good, thanks. You?
Good, yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Rob, listen, I'm just going to go over a little bit of ground that Rob covered there.
Yeah.
But, with Gareth, realistically, you say, listen, he's on the grass, he's got another week's training. What happens between now and when you've got to select a side for Saturday that he has to do? Are there certain markers that he has to pass, or are there certain challenges that he still has to overcome?
Yeah, I think there's markers he'll have to reach, absolutely. And if I'm part of the medical team at Real Madrid, then I'd be expecting one of the best players to meet those markers before then. I'm 100% sure of you know, letting him come on camp. We're confident that he'll meet those markers, absolutely. I spoke with him Saturday. He's there now anyway, so he's back on the grass. He's not in full, you know, contact training, but he's exactly where we want him to be. But you're right, there is markers he'll have to get to, and we're confident that he'll meet them.
Listen, I know it's not a sort of a betting issue or a gambling issue, but given that, what's sort of the chance, the proportional chance that Gareth may not be available for the camp, that Real Madrid may say, listen, he's not quite there, your doctors will obviously have input, yourself as well. You know, how much of this is still in a bit of jeopardy? No,
if I'm honest, I don't think it'll come from Real Madrid. I think they've been very supportive. They showed that in recent camps, and you know, I don't think it'll come from that. If there are any issues, it'll come from maybe Gareth pushing himself too hard in this next few days and having a slight knockback. That could be the only issue, but he's not. You know, he's far too experienced now, going to do something like that. He's got a great medical team in Real Madrid, and he's got ours that he can have a support with as well. So, yeah, I can't see that being an issue.
And realistically, you know, you've got a plan. Listen, I know you've got to be flexible, but you've got a plan for the Belarus game. You say you want to go for it because you want the 3 points. You want to take the momentum into Belgium. When will you know, for example, how long Gareth can play? Is it just going to be half an hour? Is it going to be 60 minutes? When will you fully know that? Do you think, if all goes well? Because the one thing he hasn't got under is you know, as you say, he's a fit lad, but he still hasn't got training pitch in his legs. He still hasn't got match fitness in his legs either.
Yeah, I've got a plan in my head already, you know, and but I'll wait and see until we get in the grass on Monday next week. What are you smiling at? I'll wait and see.
You're not telling me, are you?
Nah. Look, it's unrealistic that he's going to go and play at the intensity we want to play and get after them from the first minute for 90 minutes. That's unrealistic, isn't it? But what we'll do is we'll hope for that, and we'll assess him on the Monday when we join up on camp, and then we'll see how he trains in the week, and if he can play any longer than that, the plan, then great. That'd be brilliant.
Listen, Rob, the last few camps, you know, before you and I have sat down to have a chat, it seems to be like you're juggling about 20 balls with withdrawals. How are you going to be feeling Sunday evening when players are starting to join camp, when players are obviously playing now over the weekend? Just how much are you crossing your fingers that maybe for once you get a bit of luck when it comes to withdrawals? Because looking at September and October camps, you've not been entirely lucky there, have you, with injuries and COVID, for example?
No, we haven't, but that's unfortunately part and parcel of well, management in football at domestic level, but even more so at international level, you know, because you've got so many aspects to go right for you, and we do deserve that little bit of luck. You're right. I think the 28-man squad that I've selected reflects that. You know, we have to cover every eventuality. I don't want to pick a 23-man squad and have to bring players in with regards to testing and run the risk of them being outside of the bubble, so I want to take control of that from the Monday. We've given ourselves a great opportunity to finish second with 2 games to go in this 6-game season that I spoke about back in September, and I want that 28-man squad around us in our bubble protecting us and all pushing for the win. And yeah, so we'll plan accordingly. We'll get everybody in on Monday. Touch wood, we've got a clean bill of health, but like you said, we do deserve that little bit of luck, I think.
And just, Rob, are you looking forward to March yet in terms of planning? Because why these 2 games are so pivotal. You know, your Nations League will give you an away semi-final, but finishing second gives you the home.
Yeah.
Tangibly, Rob, you know, the obvious advantage is home, but there are another advantage as well, is you can't play anyone, I don't think, who's ranked higher than you as well. What are the benefits so that you push the team now for Belarus, you push the team for Belgium? What are the benefits of getting that second spot and the home playoff?
Yeah, like you said, it's the home playoff, but it's not just about that, Gareth. It's about the momentum. You know, after all the effort and the hard work and the planning, the organisation, with not only dealing with the players, but COVID thrown into the mix, with all the effort everybody, I'm talking about the staff in the background as well, that people don't see, all the effort everybody's put in, we don't want to finish with a limp. We want to take that momentum into March. So we want to finish on a high. Like I said, we want to start off on the first game on the Saturday with a positive result, take that momentum into a tough game on the Tuesday. Our record's been good in the past against them, so anything can happen on the night, and finish on a high, ready for that game in March.
Just a final question from me, Rob, just coming back to David. Listen, I think I saw him on the camp. I remember saying to him, how are you doing? And he said, I'm feeling all right, something like that. Little did we know what was going to happen in a week after that. But can you just sort of give us a sense just how instrumental Sean, the doc, was in kind of sitting him down and saying, listen, there is something else here that is going on? Because you know, yourself, Ryan, Chris Coleman over the years have always spoken about the medical stuff, the FAW being a class apart, going the extra mile, etc., etc. Well, it may prove they might have just saved somebody's life.
Yeah, absolutely, and they deserve an enormous amount of credit for that, because we have meetings every day, and at the end of the night, after the evening meal, we have a staff meeting and we go through the every single player medically, and it was no different this camp, and Brooksy's name was mentioned, and there was a few people rose concern about it because he just didn't look like the David Brooks that we know, that, you know, with his energy and with how he used to control games, and the more we spoke about it over breakfast the next morning, we decided that we wanted to, and the doc drove this, by the way, with Sean, that he wanted to do further investigation, and we were in contact with the club at the time as well, and like I said, it was our responsibility then. While he's in camp with us, he's our responsibility, and we you know, saw it through and done the relevant testing that we needed to, and you know, like I said, it was a shock to David and his family, but with the support of all the supporters, everybody, the messages he's got, and with the support of our medical team and the staff, he'll get through it.
Top stuff, Rob. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, Geraint. Thanks, mate. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Geraint.
Diolch, Sarah. Hiya, Rob. How are
Hi,
you?
good, thank you.
You okay?
All
I
good.
apologise if we're going back over some of the stuff that you've already spoken about here, but
Okay.
here we go. So, Rob, it's great to see Bale named in the squad, but what part are you hoping that he can play in these next couple of games? And what's the conversation been with Real Madrid in terms of where he's at the moment?
I spoke with Gareth personally last week, and he's in a good place. You know, he said he's doing everything in his powers that he can to be fit for the camp. I spoke with Sean again this morning. He's been in contact with him, and he's exactly where we'd like him to be then, to give himself a chance of playing minutes in that first game. How many minutes he plays, we'll have to. I've just said there, you know, I've got a plan in my head roughly of where we're at with him. We'll see him train when he meets up on camp on the Monday, and if there's any room for movement with the minutes, then we'll absolutely do it, because you want your best players on the pitch. So we'll have to assess it as we go, but we're confident at this moment that not only will he turn up, but he'll be fit to play.
Of course, he's looking now as well at reaching his 100th cap. I mean, what a huge achievement that is, and what a servant and an ambassador he has been and continues to be for his country.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the pleasure of being on camp for Chris Gunter's 100th cap, and what an achievement that was for him. And Bale falls into that category. You know, you to get 100 caps, that's something special for your country. So he'll deserve all the plaudits he's going to get from that. I know him as a person. His complete focus will be on just getting the 3 points, and when we do that, he'll celebrate the 100th cap after. You know, he won't want it to distract away from the job that's in hand. And that again speaks volumes about him as a captain and as a person. And he's one of 6 probably that I've got in the group, senior players that thoroughly deserve to go on and get as many caps for their country as they can.
And then you've got Kiefer Moore, who's suspended for the Belarus game, and then you've got 8 other players who could feature, but they're also on yellows and could risk missing that huge final game against Belgium. How is that factoring into your preparations?
Yeah, well, you just got to be disciplined in the game. You know, we don't want any. We absolutely want it to be competitive, and if there's a tackle there to be made, they will do. But they'll also understand that we don't want any silly bookings for ill discipline. You know, you can't justify that, and if that gets them out suspended for the Belgium game, then that'll be a hard one to swallow. But we will have conversations with the people that are on bookings. It's a shame that we haven't got Kiefer available for the first game, but like I said, we've won games of football before. Without Kiefer in the team, he is a big part of how I want to play, with the goals that he brings to the team. But it's unfortunate we haven't got him, but he'll be ready for the second game.
Securing that second spot is in our hands. No 4 points will do it. The possibility, though, of needing to take something in that final game against Belgium, is that a daunting prospect at all?
No, not at all. No, absolutely not. You know, we respect them for what they are. They're the best team in the world at this moment in time, and we played them away in March. Okay, it was 3-1. We went a goal in front with arguably one of the best goals we've scored. We look back at the goals and we could have done better in all 3 that we conceded. So there was a lot of positives to take out of the game. It's a home fixture. There'll be a full house again, and like I said, anything can happen in the game. So first and foremost, we need to get a positive result on the Saturday against Belarus and take the momentum then into that second game.
You mentioned it being at home. How much of an advantage will it be to have these both final games in Cardiff in front of that great red wall?
Yeah, absolutely. They're a massive part of our success in the past, and what we want to do moving forward. You know, so without them, with them, it'll help us cross the line. And like I said, encourage everybody to come on the Saturday and watch us. Even the last game, it was frustrating, the draw at home, but the supporters were magnificent. You know, they stayed until the 94th minute, willing us to get that goal, and we'll need it again on the Saturday.
Diolch, Rob. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you, Beth Fisher.
Hey Rob, how are you?
Hi Beth. I'm good, thanks.
Just listen, the last camp, or you got 4 points without Bale. I'm just thinking how you and the squad feel about putting in those performances without your star man, and what confidence that gives you going forward now with having him back.
Well, I think it goes to show the strength and depth that we've got, Beth. You know, it's not just about Gareth Bale. He's been a tremendous servant to our country over the years, and there's going to be a lot of talk said about his 100th cap, and he deserves all the plaudits he gets because he's been a phenomenal servant for Wales. But we've proven that we can still win games of football without the captain in the team, and sometimes without Aaron in the team, and that's good for Welsh football and good for the squad that we've got in and around him. So it takes a little bit of pressure off them as well.
I was going to say one person in particular, Sorba Thomas. He became a bit of a star in the last camp. He's in the squad again. What does he give you that others maybe don't?
Absolutely, he's in the squad again. I think he's. Look, you know, you get wing backs that are defenders that play wing backs, or you get wing backs that are attackers that play wing backs. And we showed against the Czech Republic, we showed our intent. We wanted to go on and win the game, and instead of putting a defender on, we played with a winger at wing back, and we wanted that attack-minded player. His delivery from dead ball is fantastic. I think he's still got the best stats in the championship for the most goals assisted, for the most assists. So yeah, he brings a lot to the team, and he was a credit to himself in the last camp. I thought he was excellent.
It's been a real up and down kind of year for you in terms of, you know, things that have gone against Wales in terms of prep, where you had to be. I know you were at the Wales game watching the women. Have you spoken to Gemma Granger about the fact that she's now in Wales and doesn't always come easy for our teams?
No, I've not. I spoke when she first took over the job. I spoke to her. We had a good conversation. We spoke this morning actually about maybe having a bit more involvement with both camps. And but no, I will reach out. COVID has not helped as well. Obviously, we can't mix the bubbles. But no, I was at the ladies' game and I thought it was a great performance. And yeah, it was nice to watch them.
And finally from me, on that note, how good is it for you as a Wales fan, not just a coach, that both men and women are kind of competing and people are expecting them to win now? Because, you know, so many years ago that wasn't the case. Expectations,
Beth, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And you're right now, we've had a good World Cup campaign so far. It's been a tough one, but a good one. It's been tough because we've had a lot of things go against us with regards to COVID and players, but we've given ourselves a fighting chance, absolutely, to finish second in a tough group. And I'm so proud of the players for doing that. But we've got one big effort left to go and finish this job off. The ladies, like I said, they're growing every camp, and so are we now. And both teams now are in a position where we're expected to win games.
Absolutely. Listen, good luck for the forthcoming games.
Thank you.
Lawrence Moore.
Hiya, Rob.
Hi, Lawrence.
Just going to look down the rest of the squad if that's all right. Rob, we've got 3 Welshmen scoring for Cardiff at the weekend. That must have raised a smile with you.
Absolutely, yeah. Sparky, Kiefer and Rubin, yeah, all on the scores, getting goals, sorry. So, yeah, it's great, isn't it? So you got players full of confidence coming in on camp. Unfortunately, we haven't got Kiefer for that first game, but irrespective of that, he's full of confidence coming onto camp, and we can only benefit from that, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Harris has sort of obviously come in with the 21s and had a long time to come through. You were kind of part there for his 21s. He's developing well, isn't he? Now he's getting an opportunity.
He is, yeah, and I likened Swansea to Cardiff a couple of years back, where Swansea took a gamble on some of the younger players, the Daniel James, the Kabangos, the Coopers, the Joe Rodens, and they went on to play championship football for a season and then got moves. Sparky was part of a Cardiff setup at the time that they weren't playing the younger players in the team, and he's had to be a little bit more patient and with regards to his development. He took the opportunity to go out on loan and play competitive football, which I respect him for. I think that's the best thing to do, and not sit and play 23s football. And I think he's reaping the rewards of that now. You know, he's gone out and played competitive football and real to what he's going to get week in, week out, or every camp with us, that physicality. And like I said, I've seen a big difference in him from when I worked with him at under-21s to now. Physically, he's developed, but his game, you know, his game is improving as well. Knowing when to run in behind, knowing how to hold the ball up, and I'm seeing a big difference in him.
Another player making a championship splash at the moment, Brennan Johnson, just seems to be getting better and better with every game. Is he a Premier League player in waiting, Rob?
Yeah, I think so. You know, he's still got a long way to go. He's learning every game, and he is a talent. You know, and again, we identified that from a young age. He was probably 17, 18 when we first, younger than that when we first had him in the system. But he's really started turning heads at 17, 18, and having worked with him closely, he has got a bright future in front of him. And he's, at this moment in time, he's scoring goals in the championship, and that's why he's in the squad.
No Matt Smith this time. What's that down to? Is that a fitness thing?
No, nothing to do with fitness. It's just team selection. I've got Joe Morrell, I've got Joe Allen, I've got Dylan Levitt, I've got Will Volks, I've got a variety of midfield players. You know, Matty's gone out, he's not playing at this moment in time, and it's just competition for places.
Yeah, there was a few comments, I think, from Grant McCann after the last camp about him not coming back fit enough. So when you select a 28-man squad, is that obviously is for your, what was it thinking about a 28-man squad? Because it's quite a big squad to take with you for 2 games.
Well, in regards to the comments, of course I read them, and I noticed Matt didn't play the week before we met up for camp, so was that our fault as well for not getting him fit? Probably not. So managers are going to have their opinions. Every manager goes through stresses and pressures, and it's how they deal with it. So there's no issues with that. We had a 28-man squad because I want a big push. We've got 2 games left. We're giving ourselves a fighting chance to finish second. I'd rather take control of that bubble straight away and keep the squad together. In the main, this group of lads have been together from the Euros. They're a close-knit group, and when they meet up on that Monday, the atmosphere is going to be brilliant. And I want that 28-man squad together. If anything happens with regards to COVID or injuries, we don't have to retest. We don't have to call people in from clubs here, there and everywhere. We're all there ready to go. It's a 10-day camp. It's 2 big games, and I want us all together.
Yeah, just finally for me, I was lucky enough to be a few rows behind you at the final whistle of the Estonia game. There's a real belief in this squad, isn't there, building? And there was a lot of celebrations for what was a tough 1-0 win, but it meant a lot to you.
It meant a lot to us because we proved against a very, very good Czech Republic team in Prague that, we outplayed them for large parts of that game. On another day, we could have won the game 3-1. Kiefer had a great opportunity early on. You can't foresee a mistake that Wardy makes, but I thought his reaction after it and the supporters to get him back on his feet was absolutely outstanding at the end of the game. And we proved that we could play go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in Europe and then mix our game up a little bit, against a tough Estonia team that have scored 2 goals in every other game that they've played in, by the way. And apart from our 2 games, we knew that they were going to pose a threat and cause us problems. So at times, you can't all be pretty. You've got to dig a trench, put your tin hat on and fight your results. And we certainly had to do that against them. A full credit to them. But what we proved is we can go toe-to-toe with the best in Europe playing football, but we can also know when to roll your sleeves up and dig deep.
Great stuff. Cheers, Rob.
Cheers, thanks.